Most people think the hardest part of becoming wealthy is making money, but the hardest part is staying consistent when nothing is happening. When there is no applause, no visible progress, no confirmation that your effort is working. This is the stage where most people quietly quit, not because they failed, but because boredom exposed their lack of discipline. Boredom is one of the biggest enemies of progress, especially for people who grew up under pressure. When your life has always been stressful, boredom feels like danger. Your brain associates movement with survival. So when things slow down, you panic. You start searching for excitement, distraction, or something new. This is why many people jump from one plan to another, not because the plan is wrong, but because silence makes them uncomfortable. Wealth is built in boring seasons, in repetition, in routine, in doing the same small things over and over, trusting that time is working in your favor. Wealthy thinking understands that monotony is not a threat. It is a signal that systems are working. One of the most difficult habits to build while broke is structure. Structure feels restrictive to people who have lived with little control. When life has always been unpredictable, freedom feels like chaos, not peace. So when you finally try to create structure, your mind resists. It wants flexibility. It wants options. But too many options destroy focus. Wealth requires limitation before it allows expansion. Daily structure protects you from emotional decision making. It decides in advance what you will do when motivation is low. It removes negotiation with comfort. Wealthy people do not wake up asking how they feel. They wake up asking what is scheduled. This is why discipline looks boring from the outside but feels powerful from the inside. This is the foundation of everything we are building. Loneliness is another price of growth. People rarely talk about. When you start changing your habits, your environment may no longer match you. You may feel isolated not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are doing something different. Growth isolates before it connects. Isolation is often a sign of transition. You are leaving one identity before fully entering another. That space feels uncomfortable, but it is temporary. Wealth requires emotional maturity, the ability to feel discomfort without reacting destructively, to feel pressure without escaping, to feel uncertainty without quitting. Poor thinking reacts. Wealthy thinking regulates. Reaction feels fast. Regulation feels slow, but regulation builds control. We are moving toward regulation, toward control. This is the path we take together. Part 3 complete. One of the most damaging habits broke people develop is constant consumption, consuming content, consuming entertainment, consuming motivation, but never producing, never applying, never executing. Consumption feels productive, but it often replaces action. Wealth is built by creators, not consumers. Wealth is built by builders and doers. You do not need more information. You need fewer distractions. Clarity comes from removing noise. Clarity does not come from adding more. It comes from removing noise, removing unnecessary spending, removing toxic relationships, removing habits that waste time. Subtraction is a powerful wealth skill. It creates the space for everything you want to build. We are moving from consumption to production. This is where the work begins. Part 4 complete. Let's keep building. Many people stay poor because they overestimate what can be done in a month and underestimate what can be done in 5 years. They want fast change. When fast change doesn't happen, they assume nothing is happening. But wealth is slow at first and fast later. Poverty feels fast at first and slow later. The timelines are reversed. Fear of being judged also keeps people stuck. You worry about what people will say if you fail, but judgment fades. Regret stays. Nobody criticizes you for long, but you will live with your own choices forever. Wealth requires a strong internal compass. External validation cannot guide long-term decisions. Likes, praise, and approval fluctuate. The people who win are not chasing applause. They are chasing alignment with who they want to become. This is the path to true wealth. Part 5 complete. Another painful truth is that many people secretly benefit from staying broke. Being broke gives them excuses. It gives them sympathy. It gives them identity. If they succeed, expectations rise. Responsibility increases, and some people are not ready for that pressure. Poverty becomes a hiding place. Growth removes hiding places. To escape poverty, you must be willing to be seen clearly, to be judged accurately, to be responsible for your outcomes. This is scary, but it is also empowering. Responsibility is heavy, but it gives control. Blame feels light, but it gives nothing. Wealthy people think in decades. Poor thinking thinks in days. When you stretch your time horizon, your behavior changes automatically. You stop rushing. You stop panicking. You start building foundations. Discipline is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about returning to structure quickly after failure. Missing days is normal. Quitting is optional. Wealthy people fail often, but they fail within systems. Poor thinking fails and abandons the system entirely. Money will not save you if your habits are broken. Money will only amplify who you already are. That is why this stage matters. Becoming disciplined while broke is a rare advantage. It prepares you to handle wealth when it arrives. This channel exists to remind you that you are not broken. You are untrained, and training takes time. Rewiring habits, rebuilding identity. If you are still listening, it means you are willing to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. Most people look for relief. A few look for growth. I am still on this journey. Still structuring my days. Still resisting impulse. Still learning patience. Still building quietly. And if you are here, you are doing the same. That means you are not behind. You are becoming.